Today we're going to be going over probably what I'll end up playing like at Albuquerque. Just a deck I've been liking a lot. It's like the last, just one of my favorite ones, and it's one that is really cool and chill, very rogue, but just fun, right? And obviously from the thumbnail and stuff, and just probably from other videos, you can see it's going to be Genkai. Ooh, crazy. But just get into it, and what we're going to do is I'll show you the deck list. I believe it's 62 cards, should be 62. I'll have the description to UVS Ultra of the list. It is largely that. It might be a little different because I always am kind of messing and tweaking things. Can we get this to like look at it properly without? There we go. That looks pretty good. Yeah, here's the character. I got that nice XR for my character card. Anyways, we're gonna go over the character, the deck list, all the cards in it, and then at the end we'll kind of go over like the strengths and weaknesses of the deck, and maybe just like a few lines or cool interactions with them, if you guys even care to watch that far. Here's the character. It's a 6 difficulty character. Remember when character cards had difficulty, guys? And block mods. She's a 6-hander, 27 health. Has a team Urameshi enhance. All good and order symbol. And enhance if this attack deals damage. So your attack or my rival's attack. Reveal top card of my deck. If it's an attack, I can add it to hand. And then discard one card. There we go. Genkai, she's a 6-hander, 27 health. 6 difficulty. Remember when characters had difficulty, guys? Because I sure do. And block mods. She has the term Team Urameshi, a keyword. She has the all symbol, the good symbol, and the order symbol. And enhance, if this attack deals damage, reveal a top card of your deck. If it's an attack, I can add it to my hand. So this attack means either mine or yours, which is good. And it can also just mean if you play a throw attack. And her other ability, this is where she really shines. Discard one card. This attack gets plus X or minus X damage, minimum 1. X equals the block modifier of the discarded card. So she's basically, as someone who's played My Hero Set 2 and his favorite character for MHA is basically Midoriya 2. I don't know, it's really cool and fun. There's basically him, but instead of being able to discard for just damage, you're able to discard for also minus damage, which is cool. And as well, just to keep it, you know, My Hero related, is it's this card on screen on her hands, which is really good. You always, that card for the symbols I have was always like a 4 of, or at the very least, always contender, because it's just super good. Anyway, so that's the character card. Really, really good. You've probably seen her in some videos. And we'll go over kind of the strength, but just to keep it brief. This character obviously has insane survivability. She's not actually a 27 health character. She's in like 30 something at least, right? With your constant discarding. And the median block modifier of the cards in the deck is generally 3. So you're able to give basically +3 or -3 damage to every move. And then which that always triggers her top ability, which is always able to check the top card for an attack. Whether your opponent is playing attacks or you are playing attacks. And the reason why this is really good, obviously, just because you're able to tutor for basically the perfect hand in all your attacks anyways. And as well, if and when you need to block, which we kind of obviously intend not to, you can block because you're guaranteeing basically you have a 5 on top. So that's just really good. Or the occasional 6. Oh, there we go. Let's bring more down. Okay, so to get into the deck, as for attacks, it's not completely solid. There's a few attacks and things, because it's also somewhat a budget build, right? So because it's a budget build, it's a bit more on the cheaper end of cards and not exactly what I would want for it. But this is close enough, and I think it's largely fine. First 2 of, and the first unnecessary card, but just a card I like, is 2 Spirit Gun Megas. The reason why it's a card I don't particularly like, but I also think it's kind of fun, is the 2 check. That really messes this up. But 6 difficulty, 0 high block, 6 mid for 7, powerful 4, which is kind of neat. And then you can discard 1 card to add a card from your discard pile to hand, and then enhance if it deals damage, draw 2. So the way a lot of cards in our deck have the if deals damage key, enhance, do a thing. And so same with this one and with Genkai. So the way it works, because they're triggered at the same time at just straight damage, you can trigger them in whenever you want. So for this, you can draw the 2 first, then trigger with Genkai. So you're basically looking at the top 3 cards of your deck, right? Top 3. And that's just super good. So you're able to dig deeper and guarantee more things with it. As well, you could check first and see what you're going to draw, but I don't see why you would do that. That's relevant because there's also a card later that that is different from that. But we'll get to that when we get to there. Like I said, this card is cool. It's just a neat card. So you're able to pick up another card that you want in your discard pile. It could be an attack, an action, a foundation, whatever. just to use. You could pick up a card that you want just to discard for Genkai's ability. If you have like a 2 or 1 block modifier in hand, you can use it to grab something else. This card, I want something else to replace it, and it probably should just be like another decent forward if or something, or a board breaker or a board interaction, because just in and of itself being a 6 stiff that they can like mess with and not have to, because it's also hella blockable because it's mid and not super fast. It's not super slow either, but you know, it's just the 2 check most of the time is not worth it, especially if we're comparing like similar symbols she has. It's just kind of like a worse tasty riff, right? And because of that we have it, but you know, it's not terrible. And hey, when it works and is good, there are high highs but also terribly low lows. But that's the first 2 ones. And then these ones, the first actual budget card is 4 Clash with Blood Red. So this card, 5 difficulty, 5 high for 5. It's a 1 high block, weapon XP keyword, not that that matters, and then it has the ability Blitz. Each player reveals the top card of their deck. If the check value of the revealed card is greater than or equal to your rival commits to. Otherwise, you draw 1 and your rival mills 1. So, to break this down in English for all of us, oh, I can't even see that very well. I need to break it up anyways. To break it down in English for the rest of us, basically is you blitz, you both reveal the top card of your deck, and whoever has the highest check value does a thing. So if I have a 5 or 6, if I have a 5, they commit to it. So this is my pseudo stun 2 card. This is supposed to be my Earthbound or Earth Power, whatever that card is. It's on screen now. Cheap version of. If you can play those, probably just play those because they're easier. But this card is kind of fun because it is like a weird little mini game with it. But as well, otherwise, if you check a 3 on top of your deck with this ability, you just draw it, which is actually kind of good. So it's actually still pretty good either way. But yes, this is our cheap alternative version to Earth Power, Earth Breaker, whatever that card is. And this card is very good. I needed some sort of board breaker thing because a lot of the problem with our deck is primarily just that our moves need to hit. And so when you're facing down like a Rodan or a Midoriya, you do need to kind of, you know, stun out their board or mess with them. And so this is the best thing we can do. But also sometimes it just totally misses and we're you know, we're kind of screwed. That's that one. Next one, Final Smash. This card is just super good. So if you can see it, right? Yeah. It's a 6 difficulty, not really. 1 block modifier, or 1 mid block, 5 high for 6. It has a static. If your rival has 8 or more foundations, it gets -2 difficulty. This is primarily why you just have 2 of it. You could run more if you wanted, and I don't think that would be incorrect, because basically when they get to 8 foundations, this is a 4 check that says you can add 1 card from your discard pile to the top of my deck. This is really good because obviously with Genkai, you can put something on like an attack on top, grab that. Or as well with our draw cards that we do obviously have, you can put your attack on and then just draw into it. Or you can just stack your deck to put a 6 check on top and just guarantee you check a 5 to take lives. Right? This is why this card is just super good and whatever, right? It's basically a 4 diff because you never really want to play it otherwise. That's really basic. And 2 of, that's how you know it's budget build. 2 of our uncommon Genkai attack. I actually think it's fairly good. This is her Genkai Spirit Shotgun. 5 diff, 3 block mod, 3 mid for 5. 3 mid block rather. Excuse me. So this card has a first enhance. If this attack matches 2 or more symbols, which duh, it's our card, it gains throw. So this is basically a 5 diff throw that we're able to play. And as we've said before, her ability does work with throws. And the other enhance is that we can look at the top 2 cards of our deck and put them back in any order. This is really good. It's just a fine whatever opener, because it's really cool when you see attack and a foundation. You put the attack on top to obviously draw into it because it's a throw. It's going to more than likely always deal damage. And you can guarantee that your next check is going to be a 5 or the foundation that you saw. And just kind of saying, otherwise, if you have other draw cards on board and later turns, then you just know and you can organize them in, okay, I want this one on top so I can draw into it, and then I'll check that one. Or you'll just end up drawing both of them, whatever that may be. So this card is just a fun whatever, and, you know, the throw. So we're always, it kind of helps guarantee that we will be dealing damage and guaranteeing we use Genkai on our turn and not just our opponent's turn. Next one is 4 Signal Shot. This is basically a 3 diff. For those that are unaware, it's basically Hardened Jab, but on the order symbol. 3 mid for 4, 2 mid block. Blitz, add a foundation from your stage to your hand. Build top card of your deck face down. Again, this is only 2 of because we actually don't want to see that much of it, especially on early turns when you have few foundations that you don't really want to build. So you kind of want to save them for later. But this is also for spoilers later for grabbing other foundations that we want, like Steel Muscle Explosion. Right? If we build this down early turn, it doesn't really matter because we can just pick it up with Signal Shot. As well, we're playing things like Always Cool, right? Which can build stuff down. So if we have an attack, we can grab it with Signal Shot. And like I said as well, it's basically a 3-diff, right? Because you ready one, quote unquote. If you have a foundation committed, you can pick it up, build it down the top part of your deck, and it's ready again. So that's why we play just the 2 of those. It's not necessary, and it's just good. Next one is Counter Smash, and we're kind of go through these because they're kind of the same thing to me, and they're just whatever. Counter Smash and Air Force Flick. Both Counter Smash, this one it has a deadlock ability, which lets us pick up, where is it? Final Smash. Deadlock, you can add one card from your discard pile with Smash in its name, from your discard pile to your hand. So it just allows us to grab that sometimes, and also we don't have a lot of deadlocks, so to have that is good. Then with Air Force Flick, Deadlock, it gets 3 damage and does count towards progressive. That is pretty goated. And other thing, at least with Counter Smash, is its ability we can stack our deck with it basically. You can add one card from your stage to the top of your deck, gain stun 1, and you're guaranteeing your check. Again, if you have a foundation or attack built face down in your stage, you can add that to the top to grab it with like Genkai or whatever. Or if you have the 6 check, you can put that on top and guarantee you check a 6. And as well, if need be, because this card does kind of suck, it's got a 3 block mod, so it's also good for giving our card stats or giving our opponent minus stats. And this card is basically just a draw card. I just needed more draw, at least on my turn, because it feels really bad going on your first, second turn and only having like board breakers, like a Spirit Gun Mega, like a Clash of Blood Red, like a Final Smash, right? So having this, being able to just draw you one, is pretty much the only reason why we play it. And so whatever. You can find something better. I definitely implore you to, and please do. As for these last 2, this is just more. We'll go with this. Nimble Maneuver. 2 low block, 3 high for 4. You add the top card of your discard pile to the top of your deck. So this is just more stacking. If you do have an attack there, obviously if you discard, if you discard Counter Smash, you can put that on top of your deck now to check it or draw into it or whatever you want. Or again, if you have the 6 check there, you can do that. This is just another kind of whatever card to mess with checking and kind of help us try and guarantee what we're seeing on top of our deck. And as for the last one, this one's actually kind of important. I can maybe see myself bumping this up to like a 3 or more, but it's just a bit of a steep cost. And that is Lizard Tail Splitter. 4 diff, 3 low block, 3 mid for 4, and it has a Deadlock Echo, which sometimes comes up, but it just depends, obviously. And Enhance, we pitch a card, your rival adds 1 card from their hand to their card pool face up, and then each player draws 1 card. This can filter our hand, obviously, if we need to draw more, we need to draw into more stuff. But then its primary reason, honestly, is to stuff their card pool. And this is why I kind of need more of it, because since we're pumping damage, we actually just need a lot more speed on our attacks to guarantee that they hit. And this adding the card into the card pool on our opponent's side for all our attacks is basically giving it another speed, right? So if I play this one and just say this is another blank card, right? It's now basically a 4 mid for 4. But this is for all of our attacks. If I play another one, right? All these moves now are suddenly 4 high for 4, 4 high for 4, 4 high for 4, what have you be, because there's one in the card pool. And so if you are able to echo with it and they add another one, right? That's sick. Or you just draw into another Lizard Tail Splitter, plus the filter, plus whatever. Like, it's just good. And same thing also with the block modifier, right? It's a 3 mid block modifier, so it's actually +3 or -3 damage as well on offense or defense, which is why it's really good. Okay, so those are the attacks. They're pretty good. Like I said, Lizard Tail Splitter needs to be in the deck for speed and guarantee we land our hits, and everything else just kind of like weird, cool, fun tasting. Signal Shot's sick. Genkai Spirit Shotgun is cool. Final Smash is amazing. This is basically Earth Power, and Spirit Gun Mega needs to be something else because I hate checking 2s. And that's pretty much it. The thing I would want to change and add about the attack package is, I forget what it's called, it'll be on screen. This Yu Yu Hakusho card, which basically adds 1 block mod to all your rivals' moves, also has Echo, so we can do it again, which is basically like the Tail Splitter, but it's their block modifier, which is again, if they're going to block everything, basically saying all your moves have +1 speed for the turn. And you can sometimes do it again with Echo, right? But it's like a 5 difficulty mid block move, I believe. So I would have to find room to like change it for like Shotgun or, I don't know, Air Force Flick or Counter Smash, which is feasible, but I also don't want to have obviously too many 5 diffs in the deck. But that's it for the attacks. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. On to the foundations, or I guess real quick we'll do this. This card, honestly, this card makes the deck so much more fun. It actually makes it really easy to survive on turn 2 and other turns. especially on turns you try and go in a little bit too much just to try and poke them down, and then it allows you to survive. Here's what it does. Action card, 4 difficulty, 5 check, Cute Coast Koto. First form, at the start of your end phase, draw 3, and then a static, it doesn't count towards progressive. The reason why this is really good is because you play this as your first form. You cannot play 2 in it because it's first form, and that's annoying. But it allows you to, say, really try and go in and poke them, right? So you play that Clash of Butter trying to stun them just to get a poke in. You may play Lizard Tail Splitter, and maybe you play the Air Force Lick to draw, right? Which, by the way, this is on a 5, on a 5, on a 6, because this doesn't count. So you're able to spend these cards, and maybe you discard it as well during this. And then during your end phase, you're going to draw 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Right? So all of a sudden, actually, you didn't just spend 4 cards out of your hand. You only actually spent the 1, because you're drawing them back. So this could be, obviously, you're drawing back into more attacks, or maybe you're just drawing into more foundation cards for defense. That's why this card is super sick. And very vital to the deck's survivability, because it's basically drawing you 3 new cards, which is like 6, 9 damage, depending on their block mods. Anyways, now to the actual foundations, I swear. We're going to go to an order of high to low. First for the highs is Tarot Reading. This is just, again, Herd Hands on Face, destined for mainstream success, I think is what it is. Just flip, call card type. If you're correct, you add it to your hand, right? So this basically says flip, draw 1 card with Genkai, or just flip guarantee I check really well. Because I do also use this a lot to, after I've checked so many like foundations with her, I'll just get it, add the foundation to hand, discard it for damage. After I've taken a lot of damage, or I've checked foundations off the top with Genkai and I know what's there, I'll do this, add the foundation to my hand, I'll discard it for damage more than likely, and then I'll see the next card after that off the top of my deck. So this card's just really good. It's just Genkai's ability again, so like, you know, why wouldn't you play it? Although the forecheck on it is kind of brutal. Next is 4 of the final test. You could have other ones. I like the form ability. Is a little neat to stack my deck off like Final Smash and then draw into what I stacked on top. But you do need other things to do it. This also could be, I forget, I'll probably look at it later, is Settling Old Debts or whatever, just enhance draw. But this is a little easier to come by, and also it's fun when you have like 2, 3 of these on board. You discard once for Genkai from a poke, and you just flip all of them and draw 3 cards. That's always fun. That's why we have this. Also, it's like, you know, her card, so why not play her card? Next is 3 Hacker Extraordinaire. This is really good for dealing with was it Darien or whatever, any asset deck really, and it's because this is going to be a competitive build that does somewhat matter. But then it's just like super good all around. Let's like look at the card. The forecheck sucks, but it's got a 4 block mod, which is some of the few ones in this deck for 4 damage, plus 4 damage, or minus 4 actually. And then enhance, you get momentum after you take 5 or more, and that's, you can kind of guarantee you take 5 or not a lot with this, so it actually is very easy to do. And her other ability, once per turn, play well committed, tenacious. You can discard your momentum that you just gained from it. You draw 1 card and you flip a rival asset. So it's good for dealing with rival assets, and then gain more cards with Genkai to draw into for more damage or minus damage, obviously. And this is the card that you need to, and this is the card that actually requires the weird sequencing. So the way it works is Genkai will trigger first from damage. You'll check the top card of your deck. You reveal it and be like, oh, it's a final test, whatever. And then Hacker will trigger from the 5 damage specifically and put it in your momentum. That's how that interaction works. It's a little annoying, but you know, they all can't be winners. But otherwise, this card is amazing and perfect, and I would have a 4th in the side deck if I had a 4th one, but I don't, so we only play the 3 main port, which is fine. You see it enough, typically. Next is going to round off our high block modifiers. This is what is a symbol. Basically, it's like a weird version of like Floating Around My Babies, I think it is, the May 0 difficulty that I rotated out, but 2 diff, 3 block mod, remove 2 cards once per turn from your discard pile, or foundation specifically, sorry. This deck gets +2 or -2 damage, and it has that Pro Hero Breaker 1, but we're not a Pro Hero. This basically allows you to give -5 damage, or -4, 2, 4, 6, 8 damage to your moves, or +8 obviously as well. This card's just really good. It's fun when you stack this just on like your throw. So you're able to give 3 off Genkai, then 5, 7, 9, 11, right? Yeah, 11. And so this is really good. And then obviously this also is good for zeroing out a move. If your rival's trying to poke you with like a 4 or 5 damage move, you can give typically -3 with Genkai. She can't reduce it to 0. It says minimum 1. And then use this to put it into like say -1 or 0 exactly. So that's also really useful for that, which is good. Right? So just more minus damage. Then onto our mid ones, our mid block modifier foundations. These are the most important. These like actually are. And as crazy as it sounds, one of the most important ones, not the most, but one of, is Spirit Beast Poo, this 0 diff. Here's why. 3 block modifier, so super good in hand for damage and minus damage. 0 mid, or 0 block, or 0 difficulty, right? So it's our spam. 6 check, we want it on board for counter smash and final smash to, you know, check hella good. And also, what's really good with it is it's static. After you block with it, you build it to committed. So if you do need to block, which you don't always need to, right? You can use Genkai's ability, say if it deals damage, block with it, especially if it's half block or throw, whatever. It'll deal damage. You'll check the top card of your deck. We'll check it. There we go. And then it'll build in committed. And building is one of the biggest problems with the deck. You want to build out as much as you can, so that way you can play all the attacks that you've added to your hand with their ability. So building committed is actually really good. This card is just kind of perfect all around, and it's like crazy, right? It's 0 for spam. It's got a bad block mod, which I guess is good in this case, a good block mod, depending on your version or definition of good block mod. 6 check is just, and it builds itself. Oh god, it's like the whole package, dude. It's so good. And now this is actually probably the most important, the best foundation in our whole deck. I swear it. I promise it. It's either this or another one that we're going to cover in literally just a minute after it. But this card feels like it's actually the reason to play Genkai on the all symbol, like I swear. And that is Glamour. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, what Glamour does, it's a 1 diff, so spam, relatively speaking. 3 block modifier, good for Genkai. And it has this ability, Enhanced Commit. If this non-throw attack deals damage, draw 1. And then other ability, Tenacious, play while committed. Discard a momentum, and you can add this card to your hand. This card, I cannot stress to you, is the reason to play her on all symbol, which is her only symbol right now. RIP good, right? So this triggers at the same time her damage one does. So if you always kind of, I would also say you should mulligan for Glamour, because this card is so good. If you get more than one of the up, it feels like you're cheating, right? So if you have 2 of it like on board, right? Or 3, I guess now, you just commit them all and use Genkai's ability. You're going to draw 3 cards to your hand, 1, 2, 3, and you'll check with Genkai from deck and do that. So you're seeing 4 cards if you have them on board. And then as well, if you have them committed from stuff, from that ability, right? It sucks it doesn't work with a throw, but you know, can't be perfect. If you have Hacker on board and you have a momentum from that, right? You're able to pitch the momentum and add to hand. So you can use it not only to draw another card, you're able to draw a card from itself and then also add it to hand for like quote unquote another draw. Like us being a 6-hander is just totally incorrect. We're like a 20-hander, it feels like, right? This card is just so dang good. This card pulls more than its weight in gold. Holy, this card is like the whole package, right? It's just so good. That card, if I were to give it an equivalent card on her good symbol, which would be her next best symbol post-rotation, or pre-rotation rather, this would be like the So Manly build a card after taking an unblocked attack. This is the next best thing, because you're basically drawing into either an attack or more cards to block with, which is really good. Next one, this is just kind of a random 1 slot that I'm trying. This used to be Invincible Body or whatever, but it's just Keiko support. This is a fine one. I hate the 4 block mod. I feel like I have way too many of those in the deck. It's a 4 check rather. And we have a 3 block mod, which is good for her. And then just commit my next card you try to play that has 2 or more symbols, gets -2 difficulty or -2 to the block mod. This is mostly just for Spirit Gun Mega. So I can say, this is what I like to try and do with it, is play Lizard Tail Splitter, clog their card pool with something. We'll say that's in their card pool now, is Glamour. And then we'll commit Keiko support to give -2. Then we'll play, where is it? Where the heck? Oh, there it is. then play Spirit Gun Mega with -2 to the difficulty. It's a 4 plus the 1 is 5. So now this card's going to be coming in as a 7 mid for 7 because the card in their card pool. Right, so it just has a higher chance for doing that, which is just nice. Like I said, this is like kind of whatever, but that's just what I was generally thinking with it. This could be either the team card. We'll go over the potential cards at the end, but that's just kind of why it's there. And this is the last card for our mid zone, and this is the main reason to play her under all, especially now post rotation, because with Steel Muscle Explosion, this card basically says I can discard for free. As response, after you discard this card from your hand to pay a cost, draw 1. It's got 3 block mods, so with Genkai, you discard it, +3 or -3 damage, and you draw 1 back. Basically says you do it for free. Having this on defense is actually super good. It feels so good when you have your Glamours out, you commit them to draw, and you discard this -3 damage, draw 1 back, and then you draw from these, and you check with Genkai. These cards in combination are just the best cards in the game. Like I said, with any means necessary gone on the good symbol, this is why you have to play her on the all symbol for this card and Glamour, of course. But they're basically the same thing practically, and this card is just so good. It basically says you're not the 6-hander or 5-hander after discarding. It says you remain your 6-hander because you draw. And now onto our low block cards. Just more spam. You are finished. It's just I need spam. I'm playing a 2 check, at least currently, and so I needed more zeros. And as well, it's a deadlock, which is fairly good. Commit your best. Commit 1 rival foundation. So I'll commit this lame one, and I'll commit your best one. Then for other ones, this card's really cool. Foresight. This is our next best 0 diff in the deck. You should know Foresight. 3 block mods, so great in hand. It's a spam, and after I play this card, I can look at the top card in my deck. So after I play it, I just check top card in my deck. Oh, that's an attack. I'm gonna stop building. Or hey, it's a 5 check. I can play 1 more foundation on my build turn, and that's pretty much it. And these last 3, yeah, we'll just put them all together, are pretty self-explanatory. Always cool. I just have it 3, and split body control also at 3. These cards are basically the same thing, and so much so like if I wanted, I could put this as like the 4th always cool, or put always cool as the 5th split body control, or 4th, sorry. But I just went in the middle with 3 and 3. Always cool has this response after an attack is played. Its damage cannot be modified. So for big like Titan decks, which are some of our biggest issues, or just attacks that get really big from a myriad of things, momentum, Devil Jin, each copy of something, this card's just good for shutting them down and saying that is not going beyond its printed 6 or 5. It's like another version of invincibility. And then as well, it's enhanced. Add this card to my card pool. I build top 2 cards in my deck face down. This is like I showed earlier. It's our main draw thing. If you can get multiple of these on your opening turn, and then when your opponent's turn, add to build 4. Basically, you're going up in foundation count total by 2. That's really good. Just furthers your game board in the state, allows you to go in and probably kill your opponent. And as well, it's just an emergency button to say, oh no, this attack is not dealing more than 5. Super good, super powerful. And then split body control. I actually really like this card a lot, because that's why I have like for both these, like the 4th one in the sideboard. 3 block mods, so good in our hand. After your attack is blocked, I flip 1 rival foundation. This is just so like for Rodan or Midoriya, right? If they have their own always cool on board, I can just play my attacks when they block it. If I have multiple of these up, I'll flip that one. I'll flip that one and another one. So it's just good to, this is like our only really form of board interaction and seeing stuff. So we have this for like foundations to flip, and then we have like where is it, Hacker, to flip their assets. So like we can use this obviously for like their VME, their vertical maneuvering equipment, and use this for like, I don't know, really good foundations, I guess, whatever is there. I guess it could be like this is like our version of like count Titan's Pursuit, right? Just if you block my thing, I do a thing. Really good and annoying to you. But yeah, it's just really good. So that's the deck. 62 cards it should be. It's pretty good. I'm probably gonna take it to Albuquerque, like I said. And like I said, the attack package in particular really does need some work. The foundations I think are near perfect, and like the actions as well. But the attacks I do think I need a little bit of work, or at least more money put into it, which I am not made of money, so that's what it is. And now we're going to go over here. I have a stack of cards here, with just a few to go over and talk about in regards to this deck. and the pros and cons of it. And we'll do a nice little compliment sandwich. Pros of this deck. Very defensive, very defensive. Having every card have like 3 block mod and insane draw power. Where's our other one? I already put hacker there. Oh yeah, where that and where it is and that. Just insane draw power. Like I swear, like during our opponent's turn, we're drawing more cards than we are on our own turn. Like it's insane. And that one. So really good defense. Most characters can't on one turn alone. Sometimes even 2 turns, right? Cannot play through minus, 20 damage. It feels like for everything, which is crazy. They have to do insane math or go to an insane late game. Or what's ideal is for them to like really try and kill you. They don't accomplish it, and then you beat them on the crackback, right? And then con, like I said before with the attacks, our moves are hella blockable. They are so blockable. That's a 3 printed move, 3 speed printed move. That's a 3 speed printed move. That one. That's like our only 5, 6. Yeah. And then that one also. So all these moves are very blockable, which is the biggest issue, which is why we need a card like Lizard Tail Splitter or on screen that move to basically give all our moves +1 speed. And that's what's also good is like, since you don't have to discard like with this, because you're probably not going to discard to make this really big, because they will more than likely block it. If you discard, you can just not discard, and then because it's still at 4 damage, they have a higher chance of just not blocking it and taking the move. Because like, why would they waste a block mod for 4 damage, right? That's good. It allows you to check with Genkai to guarantee you're checking good. So that's the biggest issue, is speed, right? And then as for the actual last like pro of this deck for the complement sandwich, it's actually you can deal with most decks actually fairly well. Like I said, if you have a lot of assets, you got hacker. A lot of big damaging moves. What is a symbol and just general minus damage all along, right? If you need a block, you can check really well with cards like that to guarantee your check. Big moves again, always cool. Let's see. That's pretty much it for our main ones, our main ways of defending as well. If you haven't noticed with a lot of the attacks, at least for some of them, right? 0 high, 1 mid, you can actually block a fair amount of the time. So this is also just because since you're discarding for defense, you're normally hitting for like 3 to 4 damage. So you're going down in increments typically of 3 to 4, and you're not committing any cards. If I have my like full board out, right? This is like their 3rd, 2nd attack. I haven't committed any cards, and I know I have like a foundation. I could just keep looking at this because I just keep discarding for cost. I'll be like, yeah, I'll block this one, check my 4, and I'll commit out. And you can maybe do that one other time if you have like, where is it? Like a 1 high block, right? So it just depends what you have, obviously. We also can surprisingly block decently well. Can't do it often, and you don't really want to because you have things like Always Cool, Was a Symbol, and Genkai. But you can. So you actually can surprisingly block decently well. At least like 1 or 2 moves, the ones that matter, right? And then as for other decent cards that you can use, Stylish Strike is just like a card that says draw, which is kind of good. That's only really it. Like I said, I primarily want the other one on screen now for increasing the block mod. Like I said, the last versions of Flip Body Control and Always Cool, so our opponent doesn't mess with us. Here's a fun one, and here's a fun one. They're basically the same card, right? But this has 4 block mod, 3 check, first enhance as well. And this one just says -4 damage, which is and is a bit more pliable. So these are cool and similar cards. Heat Tolerant and Invincible Body. But like I said, they're like sideboard bait, basically. Those. If you need to destroy, because I noticed I did not have a destroy cost, sack 1 foundation, this attack gets -1 speed. If it was damage or something else, this card would be a lot better. But this is our only like decent thing for popping get out of deadlock card. But we actually kind of want to go to deadlock and maybe get our opponent in it as well, depending on what the deck we're facing. And then this was the other one I was considering, Team Urameshi. 4 block mod, form, remove, discard a momentum, and then Team Urameshi enhance. I can commit it to draw an attack if I've blocked. We don't really block all that often, so that's why it's kind of useless. And the form, I actually don't like going down in my foundation count, because I actually kind of want all the foundations I can to just commit to and kill you. So that's why I don't play that. And then other ones, before the ban list, this was our main speed. if your rival has no cards in their card pool, my attack gets a speed. And then flip, remove one non-attack card from your rival's card pool. I was using this on, what's it called? You know, the King Ghidorah. I forget what it is. We'll put it on screen. But this is it was actually a surprisingly good way to deal with that. And then Fashion Icon, this is definitely going in the sideboard. Flip changes the attack speed to the printed speed and attack in your rival's card pool. So if they have an attack in their card pool from like blocking, you can change the speed of your move because it says this attack speed. Or obviously what the main use is on defense, when your rival is playing a bunch of moves, you can flip change this to like, you know, it's printed or just to another one, which is lower. That's why it's really good. It's a reset, basically. Last ones that are just kind of fun. Thoughtful Classmate. This is just flip. At the start of the end phase, I can add a mid attack from my card pool to hand. Also 3 block modifier, which is why it's really good. So we can use it to add things like Air Force Flick, Signal Shot, Shotgun or Throw, or Spear Gun Mega. Oh, I saw that. Or Lizard Tail Splitter. All these we could actually pick up. I didn't want to use that much because like there's just not enough. And I don't think it's very good, but you could, and it's kind of fun. And then for last one, oh yeah, Settling Old Debts. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Settling Old Debts is just another draw card. If you want more draw, this is where you could go. Or if you don't like the form draw speed, the enhanced draw speed with this is a little better because of that. But each player needs to have 6, so it's why I didn't do it. This is on my opponent's timing, whereas with things like the final test, this is more my timing. But they're also very similar. And so depending on what testing is like for the next few days, I might switch them out. But they're basically the same card. Or maybe I just add alt draw cards. Maybe I'll change out tarot card for that. But that is it. That is the list. That is my Genkai all list post rotation. RIP the good symbol. And I hope you guys like. I said I'm gonna play this at Albuquerque. Cheer for me. You know, send me your prayers and yeah, wish me luck. Peace.